Is it all systems go for the August 3rd local government elections? And why is Kokta buying traditional leaders' motor vehicles? What will happen to the people of Vuani in the district of Bembe in Limpopo? And how can government ensure that local government elections translate into delivery of services? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. My minister today needs no introduction. We are live. You can call us. There are your views. The number to dial 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest, Desmond Van Rooyen. He's the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, and he's also part of the Interministerial Committee on Preparations for the 2016 local government elections. Of course, he should be sharing that one. Minister, welcome to Question Time. We really appreciate you making time. Is it all systems go?
Good evening, Paul, and a very good evening to our viewers, the viewers of Question Time. Yeah. 97 days to go. It's all systems go. I must indicate that there is a lot of good work that has been happening to make sure that the country is ready to host the fourth local government elections in a very, very conducive environment that will allow the country to have a free and fair elections.
There was talk some time back, though, I know that it may not have been during your term, that government was looking at a way of ensuring that we'll vote once in 5 years for both local, provincial and national government.
No, there is no position on that matter. It's one of those discussions that are being pursued, but there's no policy position on the matter as we are speaking.
Okay. So, all systems go, but I see a different story in Vuani.
Well, it's not only in Vuani. As you might have noticed, during the second voter registration weekend, there were some disturbances in some of the voting districts. Of course, as you are all aware, I mean, our country is hosting 22,000, I think it's 22,670 voting districts, plus minus 40. Encountered problems. Now, as a result of that, Kokta working together with provincial departments in the municipalities that were affected started to intervene, but not only with the provincial departments of Kokta, also with law enforcement agencies and other role players, including the demarcation board. I mean, to address most of the queries that were raised in those voting districts. The one case, as you know, the matter was heard in court on the 21st and the 22nd. In fact, on the 20th and the 21st, and then tomorrow the judgment will be released. So we hope that the sanity will prevail and all role players will respect the outcome of the court.
But what is the problem there, actually?
Well, so far I think it's an issue around demarcation, where people feel that they don't want to belong into another area, as of course confirmed by the demarcation board. I think I should leave it at that, because so far, I mean, there are other insinuations that are linked to this whole thing. But we can't confirm those.
It's an interesting one for somebody like you who has been, in border politics, so to say, experienced that. But I mean, what would your message be to people who are worried, that yes, this is a unitary state, but some feel, what if I pay my rates in a different municipality is better than paying it on the other one? Do you provide different services to different South Africans?
Not really important. As you know, I mean, the issue of institutional capacity is something that is prevalent in some of the municipalities. Okay. And of course, through our back-to-basic approach, of course, it's a very collaborative approach. We are working, of course, with municipalities as well as provincial department to assist those municipalities that are struggling. And that's why even the request was forwarded for some of these municipalities to be amalgamated, because based on the assessment that has been done through under the ambit of Back to Basics, it was established that some municipalities do encounter institutional capacity challenges, and of course they need to be assisted. But also issues of financial viability. Okay. So as a result, of course, you will encounter some disparities on how services are provided by varying municipalities. But I think we should emphasize that it's not like a blanket approach scenario where we want to paint all municipalities, with the same brush. The reality of the matter is that there are municipalities out of the 278 municipalities, there are municipalities that are doing their best, to render services to our people.
Are you worried that actually there are those municipalities that are not rendering services?
Extremely worried. Not necessarily not rendering, but rendering services, of course, not to the expected standard.
Yes.
So definitely we are worried, and that's why we are intervening. Time for lamenting, I think, is over. It's high time that we provide solutions, to some of these pertinent and very, very stubborn problems. And we can employ all solutions, to address these old problems. We need new solutions. And that's why we are trying our level best, to introduce very, very innovative ways of dealing with some of these problems. And then I can just cite one of the approaches that I think we will be employing. Let's cite an example of municipalities that are owing ESCOM a lot of money.
Yes.
We have quickly made an assessment that some of these municipalities will never afford to pay ESCOM. So that simply says we can't expect them to pay ESCOM, because we know that.
So you're going to bail them out?
Not bail out. Instead, if there's any bailout that you are going to consider, is how to come up with a sustainable solution, working together with ESCOM, of course, and working together with these municipalities and affected provinces to provide an everlasting or maybe a sustainable solution to this problem. And we are looking at a way of centralizing, some provision of some of these services.
Financial management is one of the challenges at local government. Somehow, it seems to be within human mind grasp that, when money is squandered at local government, we understand.
No, I don't know what is it to be understood when the money is squandered, or maybe when money is not appropriately utilized. We are discouraging corruption. We are discouraging any inefficiencies, in our system of local government. And as a result, aspects of financial management are enjoying our attention, through our back to basic approach. And our recent assessment, shows that there is a lot of improvement on how finances are managed at municipalities. And I think maybe the imminent Auditor General's findings or assessment will confirm that, because our own assessment through back to basics indicated that there is much improvement on how finances are managed by most municipalities. So the issue of financial management is seriously looked at. There's nothing we are not going to condone corruption. We are not going to condone inefficiencies. We will try our level best to make sure that we leave no stone unturned in dealing with issues of financial management.
Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the back to basics strategy, but also veterans are crying foul in KZN, in Durban, to say we are not getting preferential treatment at municipalities. Let's just talk about that a bit. The number to dial, 089-1104-210. Our Twitter handle at question time 24. We shall return.
The lives, the souls, the OMG of the party, in all their glorious, well, glory. Ah, yes. We salute you, party comrade, with a bottle of 3 Ships whiskey for just $119.99 from Tops at Spa.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today is Desmond Van Rooyen. He's the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Kosi, you are in Soweto. Welcome.
Hi, good day, Paul. Good day to the Minister.
Yes, welcome.
2 questions.
Okay.
I'm quite impressed about what the Minister just mentioned about zero tolerance to corruption and back to the basics.
Yes.
My question around that is directly to the Minister. The Minister, when he left the municipality, there was an allegation of something like 40 million rand that he embezzled or mismanaged. That's number 1. Can you perhaps clarify that matter or give us the latest development?
Okay.
And secondly, is regarding elections. I'm one of the millions that voted since inception, but I'm not so sure whether I am allowed to go and vote because I didn't submit my address. What is the position regarding that? Am I still allowed to vote or not? Thank you, Mpo.
Thank you very much, Ndethosi.
Okay.
Minister.
Well, let's start with the more pertinent one, the issue of the address.
Yes.
A new development happened as a consequence of the Electoral Court ruling on Tlokwe situation. Or Tlokwe by-elections.
Yes.
And as a result of that, the court ruled that voters should ensure that they include, or maybe their addresses, physical addresses are included in the voters' roll.
Okay.
Where there are no addresses, they should provide what is termed sufficient particularity of their residence, so as to confirm if they are residing in the right voting district.
Okay.
So that means this is a new development. I mean, for the past 10 years or so, people have been in the voters' roll without this particular consideration. Now we are all expected, I mean, to go to the voting districts or maybe to go to the IEC offices to update our details. But also, I must indicate, as COCTA, we are concerned about this particular development because we think it got the potential to disenfranchise or maybe to deprive our people one of their basic rights, of voting, but also got the potential because people will react. I mean, people have been voting without necessarily having to be worried of this particular provision.
Yes.
So obviously they might react otherwise if they establish that they are not allowed, I mean, to vote. Okay. If, I mean, next to their names, I mean, there are no addresses. Yes. So definitely we are worried, and that's why we have been cited as the respondent to the case that has been lodged by the IEC in the Constitutional Court. That case is sitting now on the 9th of May, where IEC is requesting the Constitutional Court, I mean, to give a declaratory order as to what does this mean. I mean, to a mature democracy like, I mean, our democratic system. You know? So we are all worried, but we have presented all the facts as to why we think, I mean, the Constitutional Court must really, I mean, consider the submission made by the IEC. And we because we got trust in our judiciary system, we hope that sanity will prevail, and ultimately our people won't be denied an opportunity, I mean, to vote as a result of them not having an address, or maybe them not providing sufficient particularity of their residence. You know, I think it's very, very important for all of us to follow that process on the 9th of May. Okay. Then the second issue, I think the caller said it very, very clearly that an allegation, to me, is a laughable allegation, because, you know, our financial systems are so advanced. I mean, if really, I mean, such an amount, China is supposed to be far by now.
You don't look like 40 million rand to me.
Really, I'm just too far to look like 40 million.
Okay, hold it there. Let's take David. David, you are in King Williamstown?
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I just got two questions to the minister.
Okay.
Yeah, one, I would like to have an understanding in terms of the back to basics. How does it actually affect the traditional leadership institutions?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of uncertainties in terms of leadership institutions, in terms of finances and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And then the last question is around the issues of trade for traditional leaders. You found out actually national government said that provincial departments must actually conduct these policies on tools of trade, but they actually don't give finances to these institutions.
Okay.
You find out there's all the financial implication around these policies around tools of trade, but because it's a challenge in all provinces. You find out there are policies around this, but there's no funding.
Okay, David,
just like how you're going to deal with those kind of issues. Thank you.
All right, thanks, David.
I missed the last part of the question. But the first portion on traditional leaders. Firstly, I think we should all accept and acknowledge that traditional leaders are very, very important stakeholder at a municipal level, because the reality of the matter is that some of their jurisdictions, of course, constituents or the so-called subjects, I mean, are expecting the same services from us. So the relationship between government and traditional leaders, it's a must. But also, we should be reminded that that particular relationship is further defined by our own constitution. Okay. Our own constitution, of course, expect us to work with them, but also to assist them to deal with issues of custom, but also to deal with issues of traditional leadership. Okay. So they are a very, very strategic role players. Okay. But going forward, we are the first to acknowledge that there are disparities on how issues of traditional leadership are handled from one province to the other. So as a result of that establishment, we are kickstarting a process of normalizing and trying to bring some standards as to how traditional leadership issues, should be done in a more equitable or in a more standardized way. Because currently it's to the discretion of provinces as to how they deal with the issues of their tools of trade, but also as to how they support traditional leaders. So working with the National House of Traditional Leaders, we are currently developing a process of ensuring that we normalize and harmonize, the situation in that space.
Okay, let me take quickly, Bulelan. Bulelan, you're also in the Eastern Cape. I'm well, Gandarwaka.
Yeah, and that I'm not sure if the minister will be in a position to answer this. Yes, I've registered, and in Matatiele I've registered. But now my question is, the community of Matatiele did vote I think in 2007, whereby they didn't want to be forcefully taken to the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Since we voted, the results have not been released yet. So we are still waiting. So I don't know whether maybe the minister is in a position to answer that question.
Okay, but you're saying, what was it? Was it like some referendum, sort of?
Yes, it was. If we can, then we vote. Because those who don't want to go to the Eastern Cape voted. Those who don't want to go to voted, but the results were not released.
Okay, the minister seems to know what you're talking about.
Yes. Remember, Matatiele case happened more or less at the same time with the case of Merafong when I was
when you were there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I should confirm that we have undertook to entertain all provincial boundary-related issues immediately after the elections. Okay. And we have received various correspondences from our people in Matatiele as one of the areas that was affected. And definitely, we will entertain this whole situation after the local government elections. Okay. We are going to visit our people in Matatiele, and we are going to obviously ensure that we continue with the processes that were started by my predecessors. I mean, I think the referendum that he's referring to happened under the leadership of the late Minister Sikelo Shikeka. So we need to continue that, because there was a commitment made by government. So in the spirit of continuity, we really need to continue engaging those affected communities.
Now, at local governments, municipalities and all that, former liberation fighters, combatants, former guerrillas are saying we are not given a hearing. Well, I know that Joburg has a desk that deals with military veterans and all that. But in KZN, for instance, and Limpopo, military veterans are saying municipalities are not taking care of us. We're not getting any preferential treatment in terms of outsourced projects and all that.
Look, let's commend the government of the day, because the reality of the matter is that by enacting the Military Veterans Act, it really gave guidance to various spheres of government as to how they should relate to military veterans. And the Act is very clear. We are expecting, I mean, as prescribed by the Act, we are expecting municipalities, not only municipalities, but also government departments, I mean, to favorably look into issues of military veterans, either issues of skills or economic empowerment. And we are very, very clear. And there is a lot of progress, most especially in KZN and also here in Gauteng. I mean, we have seen municipalities like Ekurhuleni creating a military veterans desk. Not desk, in fact, a directorate. And Tshwane did the same. And Joburg has been doing that. So really, it's quite encouraging. Even my municipality at home, I know they do have a desk. At least it shows that there is commitment, I mean, from municipalities. But also there is a lot of good work that is done by provincial department in some of the provinces. But we have realized that, of course, there are provinces where we really need, I mean, to make sure that local government or municipalities and government departments start paying attention to issues of military veterans.
Okay, Munsiwa, you are in the Northwest. Munsiwa?
Hello, sir.
Welcome, you are live.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm well, thanks for the call.
I've got two questions in the minister.
Okay.
The question is what is the problem between the costs which are recognized by the province and others are not recognized, and this is the certificates and are getting paid?
Okay, that's fine.
The second one is why traditional councillors are not paid while the Act says they must get some payments, and then they are saving the communities that getting any compensation or no payment.
Munsiwa, I'm battling to hear you well, but I got the gist of your question. The Khosana, some are paid, some are not paid. He's saying that is what is happening in the Northwest. Why is that the case?
No, as I've acknowledged, I mean, the provinces deal with issues of remuneration and support to traditional leaders in different ways, and that's why I can't even refute what he's submitting. But the undertaking is that we are striving as the relevant ministry to ensure that we bring some standard and harmonization into that space.
And some are bought, 4x4 vehicles.
Of course, I mean, as I've said, I mean, the provinces entertain this thing differently, and I can confirm that, some provinces have went further, I mean, as part of ensuring that they support traditional leaders and acquire some vehicles for them as part of the legislative, compliance, but also as part of ensuring that traditional leaders are enabled to do their work because the 4x4 that we are referring to, we need those in rural areas, and those traditional leaders stay in rural areas where really such consideration should be made to a type of vehicle and support that they get to do their work.
Thank you very much, Minister. And perhaps finally, can we get a commitment that municipalities like Musina, for instance, who are complaining that they are normally at a disadvantage because their budgets are meant for the local citizens, but they've got a huge influx of people from Zimbabwe, for instance. Can we get a commitment that such municipalities will be assisted?
Look, I'm not sure what type of assistance are you looking at. What is of concern to us is the local economic base for municipalities. And we are working very hard to make sure that issues of financial viability and revenue base of municipalities are improved. And Musina, of course, and many other small municipalities will be looked at.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mpo.
That was the Minister. And that was Question Time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, you have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.